At 78, he still works tirelessly, never giving up his aspiration to lead America to achieve the American dream. That's Donald Trump, the man who once captivated and intimidated the world. He is the 47th President of the United States. I'm Long, and, in today's video, we'll explore Donald Trump's persona by examining how he will change the American economy, especially after Joe Biden's controversial term. This video is based on research and compiled information from various sources, so please comment below or subscribe if anything is inaccurate or needs supplementing. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in New York City. His father, Fred Trump, was a renowned real estate developer, but Trump's childhood was not smooth. At 13, he was sent to a military academy near West Point, a separation that fostered his independent and decisive character qualities that profoundly shaped the man he would become. After graduation, Trump attended the Wharton School of Finance and started his business career with his father in Brooklyn, working for 5 years. By the late 1960s, Trump had already captured the attention of the business world. His family's enterprise, the Trump Organization, initially focused on real estate in New York. In 1971, Trump took over, expanding operations into diverse sectors, from hotels and golf courses to entertainment, property management, and marketing. The Trump Organization quickly became a symbol of wealth, with hundreds of subsidiaries and a multi-billion-dollar valuation. By the 1980s, Donald Trump's name was synonymous with affluence, appearing on skyscrapers, casinos, and hotels. Media coverage elevated him to a prominent celebrity. Initially, Trump expressed disinterest in politics, calling it a miserable life. However, he later changed his mind and announced his candidacy for U.S. president. With his aggressive style, he frequently criticized Barack Obama's policies. His 2016 campaign, with the slogan, "Make America Great Again," focused on immigration, economic development, and trade. That was when Donald Trump truly entered the political arena. As a highly influential president, he defied conventional rules, a distinctiveness that made him stand out from previous leaders. He used Twitter as his primary medium to share his thoughts. A single Trump tweet could cause widespread upheaval, eventually leading to his suspension from the platform. Trump's distinctiveness also stemmed from major decisions. He withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Agreement to foster free production, became the first sitting president to meet Kim Jong-un, initiated a trade war with China, enacted record tax cuts to stimulate the economy, and imposed travel bans from 7 Muslim-majority countries, reshaping Middle East relations with controversial moves. One of his most notable policies was building a wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. Trump argued it was for national security, while many others saw it as a symbol of international division. His relationship with Russian President Putin was also under intense scrutiny. Donald Trump made history as the first president to be impeached twice. After losing to Joe Biden in the 2020 election, Trump denied the results and called for his supporters to rally in Washington, an event that led to a riot at the heart of American politics. Despite the controversy surrounding his actions, Donald Trump consistently asserted they were driven by the clear objective of benefiting the American people. He believed that if successful, he would be hailed as a genius. If not, he would be labeled an arrogant fool. Nevertheless, it's undeniable that Donald Trump's previous term left a significant mark. So, what did he achieve? Donald Trump was the first U.S. president without prior political or military experience. Yet, this didn't deter him from achieving remarkable feats. His first accomplishment was an unprecedented economic boom before the COVID-19 pandemic. The U.S. achieved impressive figures. Middle-class family incomes increased by nearly $6,000, more than 5 times the growth under the previous administration. Unemployment fell to a 50-year low of 3.5%. In Q3 2020, GDP grew by 33.1%, the fastest ever recorded. Trump continued tax cuts for the middle class, reducing the cost of goods and services through this policy. This stimulated production, created jobs, and spurred economic recovery, leading to raises, bonuses, and benefits for over 6 million American workers. Donald Trump's policies extended beyond the economy to social issues, with a clear aim for social stability and balance. He consistently championed American workers and prioritized U.S. interests in every decision. This was evident in his trade and agricultural policies. He strongly confronted unfair trade practices, leading many countries to lift bans on U.S. meat, thus reassuring American farmers and boosting production. Next, Trump heavily focused on energy, making the U.S. energy independent for the first time in 70 years. He unleashed the potential of large-scale oil and natural gas production, turning the U.S. into a leading net energy exporter. In 2019, renewable energy production and consumption reached record highs. Furthermore, Trump invested in American workers and families, implementing policies like childcare support to enhance quality of life and promote women's empowerment in this diverse nation. He took measures to prevent funding for abortion programs, while supporting religious freedom and protecting individual beliefs. Public health was also a major priority for Donald Trump. He expanded insurance options and reduced costs for citizens, making cheaper short-term insurance plans and tax cuts from Obamacare more accessible for middle and low-income individuals. Trump also required hospitals to disclose service prices to ensure transparency. Finally, Donald Trump advanced research in critical medical fields, including Alzheimer's, pediatric cancer, and HIV/AIDS, demonstrating a comprehensive concern for the health of the American people. Next, Donald Trump undertook significant reforms in the federal judiciary, nominating over 230 federal judges, including 54 appellate judges. This was a crucial shift, bringing a more conservative-leaning to rulings. For the first time in 4 decades, all appellate court positions were filled. He also focused on strengthening security and border management, building over 400 miles of border wall with Mexico to deter illegal immigration. Despite controversy, his goal was to ensure the safety of Americans, as illegal immigration had been a serious problem in the U.S. for many years. In foreign policy, Donald Trump made several significant decisions. Aiming to restore U.S. leadership on the international stage, the U.S. improved relations with NATO and strengthened alliances with key partners. Trump also facilitated important peace agreements in the Middle East, and the friendship between the U.S. and Israel was reaffirmed more strongly. Donald Trump's achievements are striking, but they are not without controversy. Opponents often argue that Trump lacks any special talent, asserting he merely exploits opportunities or seeks personal gain. Firstly, the economy was the most scrutinized issue. Trump initiated a trade war with China, escalating tensions. China retaliated with tariffs on U.S. agricultural products, especially soybeans, severely hurting American farmers who then relied on government subsidies. The U.S. government spent billions to support farmers, increasing the public financial burden. Donald Trump's tax cuts also faced sharp criticism. Opponents argued the policy favored large corporations and the wealthy, while the middle and working classes received negligible benefits. The tax cuts, without corresponding spending cuts, led to increased budget deficits. From 2017 to 2020, U.S. public debt grew by nearly $7 trillion, raising concerns among many. In short, every success comes with controversy, and Trump is no exception. Despite this, he maintained his stance and continued policies he believed were correct. The questions remain: will these policies bring long-term benefits or merely short-term gains? Next, let's discuss Trump's foreign policy, which also sparked considerable debate. Donald Trump criticized NATO members for insufficient financial contributions, even threatening to withdraw the U.S. from NATO, raising global security concerns. Simultaneously, he imposed tariffs on EU products like steel and aluminum, escalating trade tensions between the U.S. and traditional allies. Furthermore, Trump frequently used Twitter to criticize individuals, organizations, and even foreign leaders. This conduct was deemed inappropriate for a presidential role, with many arguing it undermined the diplomatic decorum essential for a leader. Donald Trump also faced strong criticism for his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. He repeatedly downplayed the severity of the disease, calling it the China virus and claiming it would magically disappear, causing public confusion. His administration's pandemic response and support policies were criticized as inconsistent and uneven. Finally, there's the issue of Donald Trump's income and taxes. According to a New York Times investigation, he paid only $750 in federal income tax in 2016 and 2017, an astonishingly low figure for a billionaire that sparked widespread outrage. These elements continue to paint a multifaceted picture of Donald Trump's legacy. Okay, that's enough about the past. So, what does he plan for the future? Donald Trump looks to the future with a series of bold promises. First is tackling illegal immigration, a persistent issue in many developed countries. Donald Trump has pledged the largest-scale deportation of undocumented immigrants in U.S. history and promised to complete the border wall with Mexico. The benefits would include easing the burden on economic and social welfare systems, enhancing security, and curbing illegal entry into the U.S. However, Large-scale deportations would increase legal costs and create tensions, potentially affecting industries like agriculture, which rely on cheap labor. Nevertheless, Trump maintains his tough stance, asserting that illegal immigrants don't pay taxes and cause instability, making deportations necessary to protect U.S. interests and legal citizens. Next, regarding the economy, taxes, and trade, Trump promises to end inflation, which surged under President Joe Biden. Proposals include exempting tip income from taxes and abolishing taxes on Social Security benefits. He also pledges to cut corporate taxes, as he did in his first term. Tax cuts can stimulate consumption and short-term economic growth, but risk budget deficits if government spending isn't controlled. On import tariffs, Trump has threatened a 60% tariff on Chinese goods. This move would increase domestic consumer costs, but reduce competition from imports, causing many Chinese factories to consider relocating to avoid tariffs. Donald Trump also promises policies to end global conflicts, intending to replace military warfare with economic warfare. A prime example is Ukraine's retreat due to losing U.S. support. Trump is confident that peace will soon be restored. Moving to cryptocurrency, a topic of immense interest. Trump, though previously rarely mentioning it, has received significant funding from the industry and pledges favorable policies if elected. After the election, Bitcoin surged, breaking records to reach $96,000. At the Bitcoin conference in July, Trump pledged to retain seized Bitcoin rather than auctioning it and proposed forming an advisory council on Bitcoin and crypto. He also wants to bring crypto mining back to the U.S. to leverage energy advantages. In this regard, Elon Musk is clearly one of the biggest beneficiaries of Trump's return to the White House. Trump pledges to protect Musk's business interests. From SpaceX to Tesla and the X social media platform, this means Musk can operate without stringent government regulations. SpaceX and Tesla will be free to expand and innovate without legal hurdles, potentially leading to an explosion of Musk's blockbuster projects. As for social media, Trump and Musk are set to be a trending duo on X, with their drama sufficient to shake up the entire social media world. Recognizing Donald Trump's potential, Elon Musk did not hesitate to invest in his campaign, spending over $175 million to campaign in swing states. He also organized activities like door-to-door canvassing and voter transportation, notably leveraging the X platform to spread pro-Trump messages. As the ancients said, the most profitable business is keep. Musk's significant investment in Trump is not just about support, but also for business interests. For someone whose every statement moves markets, like Elon Musk, this is a strategic move. If Trump is re-elected, what Musk receives will be well worth his investment, perhaps even a 30x return on his investment. Next, I want to touch on how Donald Trump is always associated with interesting, strange, and sometimes incredible stories. First, Trump's election mirrored a scene from The Simpsons, with real-life events surprisingly similar to the cartoon, almost as if everything were scripted. One scene in the show even featured a female president saying, "I have to clean up the mess Trump left behind." So, after this term, will the first female U.S. president actually emerge? We'll have to wait for more years. The second story is Trump's ban from Twitter, which sparked public outrage. Trump's account was locked for supporting the rioters who stormed the Capitol. Not just Twitter, but Facebook and Instagram also simultaneously bade him farewell. However, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, he reinstated his idol's account. Despite this, Trump refused, stating he would only use his own social media platform, Truth Social. Thus, the world missed the chance to witness a showdown between two social media giants. The third and most recent story is the unsuccessful assassination attempt on Trump. Many suspected it was merely a performance, but who would risk their life for such a stunt? Following that shocking gunshot, news spread globally at lightning speed. Bitcoin immediately surged, forming a vertical column in the market. This event generated a stronger wave of support for Donald Trump, once again mirroring a Simpsons episode, but this time, he survived. A key detail here is that Donald Trump stood up and raised his hand to the sky, a profoundly masculine gesture, imbued with the spirit of America. Donald Trump becoming the 47th U.S. president could significantly impact Vietnam, bringing both opportunities and challenges. In trade, Donald Trump could create opportunities for Vietnam's real estate, industrial park, textile, and wood products sectors. This would stem from increased supply chain shifts and demand for clearly sourced goods. On the other hand, industries like steel and energy would face challenges due to high U.S. tariffs. Additionally, exports like seafood, textiles, and wood products could see reduced demand due to high tariffs. Regarding supply chains, Trump has always been tough on China, particularly with high tariffs on Chinese products. This prompts American companies to seek new partners outside China, and Vietnam is a promising candidate. Vietnam could become an alternative manufacturing hub in the region, attracting foreign investment and strengthening its position in the global supply chain. In terms of investment, under Trump, the U.S. increased investment in Southeast Asia, with Vietnam being a popular destination for many American technology companies, creating job opportunities and fostering Vietnam's technological development. Regarding security, the U.S. will enhance security cooperation with Southeast Asian countries, including Vietnam, to counter China's rise in the South China Sea. This is good news for Vietnam, as it gains additional support to protect its maritime sovereignty. In terms of power balance, Trump views Vietnam as a strategic partner in curbing China's influence. This will give Vietnam more leverage in shaping its position on the international stage. In summary, Donald Trump's term could bring Vietnam numerous economic investment and strategic opportunities. However, there are always challenges we must prepare to face. That's what Donald Trump has done and is doing. Will the world truly change because of him? Or will other dangers emerge? Let's tune in to this long-running series, where the dramas and debates never cease. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This video was compiled from various sources and personal research, so please comment below if there are any errors or necessary additions. Don't forget to subscribe to continue exploring other economic stories in future videos. I'm Long. Goodbye for now.